Welcome. It's Sparkles. Today I want to talk to you about why every time you get a raise, you're still broke. You would think you get a raise, you have more money. Now you can blame this on the economy, inflation, maybe whoever our current leader is. But when it comes down to it, maybe it's you. Because we all get money and we all get to decide how we spend it. It's in that how you spend it that makes a difference. So let's just say you met expectations. You got that 3% raise. You go. Now what? How many raises have you gotten in the past? Do you remember what you did with your last raise? What about the one before that? Because if you didn't have a plan for it, it probably disappeared. See, when most people get a raise, it just gets absorbed, right? Let's say that every paycheck you get an extra $20. Doesn't sound like a lot. If you don't have a plan for that, it'll disappear just as much as if it was a $200 raise. Because your lifestyle creeps up on you. What once was too expensive, now in your mind, I can afford that. I got a raise. What if when you got a raise, you took some of that 3% for meeting expectations, and you took some of that and put it away in your savings account? And what if you took some of that and you put it towards your debt? A lot of people ignore their finances. They'll talk about how broke they are. But if you ask them, how much money do you have in savings? How much debt do you have? What's your plan to have that debt paid off? How long is it going to take you? They probably do not even have a clue. Because thinking about money is a future problem. We buy something today, future us takes care of that. Maybe you're going to run out of future you to take care of that debt. What would happen if you got sick and missed some work? Can you afford to miss a day of work? What about a couple days? If your answer is no, that's not because you don't make enough money. It's because in the past, you didn't tell your money where to go in your favor. I'm going to go into unicorn story mode and tell you about a personal story. So over a year ago, my husband and I decided we'd had enough. We were tired of being broke. And it wasn't that we didn't make money. It wasn't that we were living paycheck to paycheck because we wanted to. It was just a habit. Every time we got a raise, every time we got a bonus, tax return, poof, it was gone. Couldn't tell you where we spent it. We bought shiny things. We bought things for future us. Maybe that's you. Nothing changed until we did. We sat down and we made a plan to become debt-free. Now we're not there yet. Last year we paid off almost $40,000 in debt. Yay us. But that started with one simple change. It was just sitting down with a notebook. You don't need a fancy app. You don't need, 100 things. All we had was a notebook, and we sat down. We looked at all of our debt. We took a real look. No judgment. What we did in the past, we did in the past. We were more focused on changing the future. We started small. We started looking at every expense. And maybe that to you sounds like a constricting budget that's like a straitjacket. You can't spend any money, you can't have any fun. No, we put fun in our plan. We made sure that every paycheck we each get fun money. What we do with that doesn't matter. What matters is that we made it a habit. We put money in savings. We put money aside for expenses we know we're going to have. You know you're going to need stuff for the house. You're going to need toilet paper and laundry soap, shampoo, deodorant, all that stuff. It shouldn't be a surprise. And Christmas, it comes every year at the same day. They haven't changed the date of Christmas yet. So why is it that people go out and spend lots of money that they don't have on Christmas gifts when they had the whole year to save for it? Because we get a little rush out of that. We just go tap the card and we buy presents and we buy presents. And we want to get things for people that we love. There's nothing wrong with that unless it's keeping you broke. So what if I came to you and said, hey, can you loan me $600 and I'll pay you $25 a month for the next year to pay it back? And you might ask, if you have the money, you might ask, well, what's it for? Well, what if I said it was for rent and I was struggling? And you had the money, you might help me. What if I said it was because I wanted to get a different cell phone? And you might ask me, is your cell phone broken? Is your cell phone that important? Maybe a cell phone is important. If you're a DoorDasher or an Uber driver, maybe you do all your business or you make your videos on your phone, then it's kind of a need that you have that phone. What if all you do is surf the internet, call some friends and text them? Maybe the phone you have is just fine. Would you still lend your friend that money? Because when you go to the phone store, you don't think about $600 or $1,000 for that phone. All you think about is the payments. Can I afford that $25 a month or $50 a month, whatever it happens to be? But if someone handed you $600 cash, maybe you'd pick a different phone. See, when we put things on payments, we're borrowing from future us. We're telling future us, stay at that job maybe you don't love and keep doing the grind. The next time you are thinking about putting something on payments, maybe step back and ask yourself, why is this so important that I have to put it on payments? Because most of the time, the stuff that you're putting on your credit card or doing buy now, pay later, most of that's just stuff that you could live without. Wouldn't it be better if you saved up for that item? Because I tell you what, if you save up for weeks to save up, say, $500, and then it comes time to spend that $500, mentally you spend it different. If someone in your family gives you $500 for your birthday or anniversary, if your family's got that kind of money, you're going to spend that differently than if you earned it and you worked for it. And I can tell you that if you don't have a plan, your money's going to disappear. I know, I've been there. I did it for way too many years. And it wasn't until we sat down and decided what we wanted to achieve. Because when you get laser focused on something, you can move mountains. You can do amazing things. It all starts with deciding, you know what, this broke thing isn't working for me. And it doesn't matter how much money you make, it's how much you spend and where you spend it. So let's say right now, you don't have any money saved. You have nothing. You're starting from zero. We all started there somewhere, whether you're a multimillionaire or you're in debt $1 million. It all started somewhere. If you put a little bit away, what if you made it a goal to have $100? I know, $100, I don't take you very far anymore. But if I asked you for $100, could you give me $100? Like, not loan it to me, but could you afford to just give away $100? If you can't, why? I know you've probably got a million reasons. I don't get paid enough. You know, that's a lot of money to me, so on and so forth. If you started saving $50 a month at the beginning of the year, you would have $600 at the end of the year. $50 a month? Can you fit that in your budget? Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Well, what if you were paying that to yourself instead of someone else for something shiny you bought just to get a dopamine hit? And what happens? Pretty soon we get a raise and then we got $150 and we're just spending it. There it goes. We spent it. And every time we get a raise, it's just gone. That's because you don't have a plan for it. What if you plan to take some of that and set it aside for future you? I don't know what you need it for. I'm sure you'll find out when you do need it. But if you don't set money aside, pretty soon everything's an emergency that has to be put on a credit card or it has to be put on payments. And that's going to keep you at a job you hate, working way more hours than you want to work. And maybe someday when you get closer to my age, we won't talk about how old I am, you'll start looking at the world going, crap, I don't have that many years left before I might be able to retire. Do I want to be working forever? If that's you, now's your wake-up call. I hope you'll make a change. A small change starting today that you're going to get in charge of your finances. You're going to set up your plan, whether that's an envelope system, whether that's in your bank account, whether that's paper and pen. that you're going to make your own personal spending plan for your financial freedom. Thanks for coming with me on the journey today. I'm sending you light and love for your journey, and may your financial freedom be right around the corner.